Hello, BookTube. I wanted to do a quick Friday reads, even though Friday is almost gone. It was a wonderful day for me. Had a wonderful, productive morning, and then Deb came over and saw to Frida. They love spending time together, so I was able to leave to do some non-work related errands that badly needed doing without any nagging worry at all. I was able to leave. There's a wonderful feeling when you're able to leave your dog with someone they're absolutely happy to be with. So I got to do errands. Brought my dad's cell phone into the tech shop. They said that just from the description and from looking at it, they think it's just that the battery died, and that they can replace the battery and it'll be fine. So we'll see. I will get back in touch with them and we'll see how it goes. I was realizing as I was getting ready to go how little I use my phone for. I use it for pictures that I upload to Instagram and to Twitter sometimes, but I don't do it anywhere like a vigorous Instagrammer. And I use it to call car services so that I don't have to take taxi cabs. And I use it to text a little, and I use it to read. And I'm in the middle of reading The Prime Minister by Anthony Trollope on my phone. And that's it. I don't live on my phone the way, for instance, my young Sherpet lives on his phone. And was just blanched with horror when I mentioned that my phone had died, because it would clearly be the end of his life as he knows it if that happened to him. But even so, you have to have a phone. So I'm hoping that the battery is all that is the problem, in which case I'll just plunk down $40 and get a new battery. Or if they can't save the phone, I'm hoping they can save the SIM card, and I'll just buy a phone. They have phones there, and I'll just buy a phone, pop that in there, and we'll be good to go until that one dies. But I was able to do a whole bunch of things, walk all around, and then come back and chat with an old friend and a very contented and tired puppy. But the sun is still technically up in the air, so I thought I would do a Friday reads for the weekend, for what I'll be reading this weekend, especially since it's a short list. And two of the books we've just seen, two of them pulled at me so immediately that they went to the top of the list. And those of you who might be new to the channel, I noticed there are about 60 new people. And so I thought, I don't know how much of my enormous backlog you have watched, but I mostly read new releases. Those of you who don't know that already, I mostly read new releases. I get swamped with them every day, and they are my love and my profession. So that's why when I do Friday reads, you'll see a lot of books that aren't out yet or that have just come out to bookstores. And that's the case with these three. I want to show you them. It's just three books. The first one is some we just saw, Law and Legitimacy in the Supreme Court, by Richard Fallon, which is about originalism and activist judges and legal interpretation as it's enacted by the highest court in the land, which can affect everyone's life. And that's just fascinating. Like I mentioned when I hauled this, it's just catnip to me. So I will be reading this, and then the next one I got it in the same book haul, and it just fascinates me. So I'm bumping it to the front, and that's this. Chefs, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, about the beginning. Look at that cover. About the beginning of the American foodie movement, the American haute cuisine super movement that now is worth billions. It's $1 billion industry. And I know the reason why this made it to the front is first because it strikes me that the author has a very good approach to his subject. Smart, funny, not reverential, but also taking it seriously. Not only that, but also that this bids fair to teach me a lot. I don't know anything about the subject, so that made it that bumped it to the front as well. And then the monster, the thing that is going to take most of my weekend, is this, which we've also seen on this channel, or maybe we haven't. This is Pandora's Box by Jorn Leonhard, a gigantic 950-page history of World War I, from Harvard University Press in the spring. And talk about Steve's sweet spot. I will be spending most of the weekend reading this with pencil in hand, just vigorously engaging with it. I'm pretty much ready. I asked the publicist if she had access to the original, because this was translated from the German from a few years ago, and she didn't. But I'm pretty much ready to pull the trigger and just get a copy. I just use the wonder of the internet to get myself a copy, because I know that I'm only going to be 100 pages into this thing, maybe even not that, before I start to wonder what the original reads like. And I can never control myself when I do that. If it's a book that I can just get in the mail and read, I'm always a little bit hesitant because translating a work this size for a major university press is a huge undertaking. The translator, Patrick Kammerer, deserves huge kudos for undertaking this and delivering it. And I don't want to short that. And it has happened that sometimes I get 150, 200 pages into a book, and maybe infelicities in the translator's part or odd word choices are making me wonder, well, is that in the original? Did the author actually write it that way? What liberties are you taking? And then I order the original or request it, and if the publisher has one, and I never go back to the translation. I actually do. I've done them many times in the last 10 years. I've done my review of such a book from the original and just not mentioned it in my review. That I make some passing comment about the translation based on the little bit of it that I've read, and then talk about the book based on the original. And I that's not really fair to the translator. So I don't know. I'm on the edge about whether or not to order the massive original. We'll see. But I'm certainly going to jump into this, and it'll be really up to the translator. If I get 200 pages in and I feel like, okay, it doesn't feel to me like there's anything between me and the author, then I'll just keep going. So that is my Friday reads. This thing. Pandora's Box about World War I, then Chefs, Drugs, and Rock and Roll about the American food industry, and Law and Legitimacy in the Supreme Court. That is what I will be reading this weekend. With possible, I might possibly leaven it with The Prime Minister by Anthony Trollope. I was reading this on my phone. My phone died. But I have the book, of course. And as you can see, I'm not far from the end. I know everything that's going to happen. I know every line of dialogue. I know every scene. But I'm caught up. So I may indulge in finishing The Prime Minister this weekend as well, which is great in its own right because it means it leaves you with the wonderful choice of which Trollope to read next. But mainly these three books. So that is my Friday reads for this weekend. I just wanted to make a quick video, and I'll sign off for now, but I'll see you soon. Thank you, BookTube.